Well, welcome back, and by chance I've got a little collection of evergreens we start using around the building in the winter months, and it just kind of gives a little bit of a holiday season feel to it all. Well, we need to sort this out because there are lots of confusing terms. Evergreens, conifers, deciduous evergreens, broadleaf evergreens. Well, yes, there are a few conifers that will drop their leaves, and this is a fine example. This is a metasequoia. Leaves are going brown and they will drop. So it is actually a deciduous conifer. Now, what we typically look at in terms of ground cover are some of these low-spreading junipers. The blue rug juniper, which is used all over the place, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. This is Bar Harbor, very, very similar. I think these junipers like to cascade straight down. They clean themselves, leaves will fall out of them. On the flat, though, you'll find that garbage will collect. Leaves will collect and you'll have areas dying out. You've got to allow the sunshine to get through to these. I would always go with something a little bit bigger. Now, talking about bigger, here in the garden center, you see something like this. Now, this is old gold juniper. I think, fine, that will fill up a nice little area. Oh, beware, though, it won't. It will actually get 8 feet across, maybe 4 or 5 feet tall, which is a big, big plant. And even bigger than that, here's a fine example. This is sea green juniper. It could at least be 8 by 8. Now, what happens if you put a plant in that's way too big for an area? You're constantly trimming it back. Take whole branches out so you allow light to get into the interior. That will stop the interior from dying out. You'll also allow good air movement, and air movement will stop fungal diseases from developing. Planting these in the shade, again, it's the same thing. They're not going to dry out as quick as they are in the sun, and you'll get disease problems. Most of these junipers do need full sun. Well, this is actually a different group of plants. This is a Chamaecyparis obtusa, or Hinuki Chamaecyparis, or Hinuki cypress. Not really a cypress. Chamaecyparis actually means false cypress. It's pretending to be a cypress. A little hardier than cypress, of course. We like this one particularly. It's Cripps golden Chamaecyparis because of its yellow winter color. It is actually quite a large evergreen. We've got some of the landscape here. You can see, probably up 15 feet already. But look at that yellow color. And it stays like that throughout the winter. All right, and the final evergreen I want to talk about, we're moving away from the needle evergreens to a broadleaf evergreen. It is the box family. There's some important tips to be aware of. Well, I started off by showing you the blue spruce with all that disease going on. And now we're talking about boxwood. And again, there's another disease problem with boxwoods. There is a boxwood blight that is coming into our area, I think. Certain insect problems as well. So choose varieties that are particularly resistant. The boxwoods are wonderful plants for winter landscape. You can use them in decorating. And this one here called Gordo, it's kind of an interesting name, has a rounder box leaf. The English boxwoods are those that are particularly vulnerable. Typically, we like to use 2 different varieties, and this is Winter Gem, hence the name Winter Gem. It's a nice color in the winter. And we've used a very formal hedge around the garden, sort of that curved hedge. And the other one I like is the Green Velvet. And we use that as specimens. It's a dark green leaf. It looks a bit more like an English boxwood, but is actually very disease resistant. And on the newer side, this is a new gen boxwood. It's called New Gen Freedom, and it's a good resistance to any disease problem. So there are disease new cultivars coming out there. What I want to end with, though, is a little boxwood, which I'm particularly favored of. This is a boxwood called Little Missy. This one is a dwarf one. It takes a long time to grow, so it won't get bigger than 2 by 2. Now, we are heading towards the holiday season, and it also makes, look at this, in a bonsai style pot. And one final point, I did quickly cut something off this morning. Some of the junipers get wonderful berries on. And of course, those who know, if you squeeze them, it's the juniper berry that flavors gin. So there you go. If you've got any questions about evergreens or any other garden center related questions, I'm down here at Greystone Gardens, and I'd love to see you.